So I grew up and I'm not dissing my parents or the way I grew up, but I grew up, go to school, get good grades, get a good job, work 40 hours a week for 40 years, and then retire.
Yeah.
And that's the way that life goes.
Yeah.
And when I was 21, I had a girlfriend at the time, and her dad gave her this book. And then some reason I read this book, and it was Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. I feel like most people who read have read that at some point, or it's on their to-do.
I'd say that was probably, it's in my top 3. I probably would have said that book second.
And what that book did for me, it flipped everything I knew on its head.
Yes.
And it changed my whole trajectory. Like the whole way, like I thought I was doing this, and now I realized there's another way.
Yep.
And that was the best thing I ever did. And that kind of piqued my curiosity. It showed me there was another way. And after that, I was just obsessed.
Yeah.
I was just, what's the next book? What's another book? What's another book?
Yeah, that book for me was the first book that kind of like, when you're growing up, and I grew up very poor, Hispanic family, we didn't really have anything. I remember times in my life where, when we would just scrounge for just noodles inside the pantry and just warm up noodles and put salt and pepper, and we would do whatever we could to eat. And so, like that, I never understood the rich people, rich life. I just always thought that was just some other world that existed that was not part of mine. That would never be a part of mine.
No, will you ever get to that?
I would never get to that. But that book was the first book that kind of pulled the curtain back a little bit, and it felt like I looked into what it was like to be rich, and it made sense. Oh crap! I can go there. I can actually. There is a way that I can get to that life.
Kind of gave you permission.
It did. It gave me permission.
Like the 4-minute mile, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. It was the 4-minute mile.
Yeah.
That whole thing when he ran below 4 minutes, and then everyone else did, right?
Yeah.
It was like that.
Tony Bannister, right?
Yeah.
He ran the mile under 4 minutes, and then next week 29 people did it.
Yes.
Never been done in history.
Yes.
So yeah, it's giving you a blueprint. It's giving you permission that if this person can do it, other people can do it.
Yeah, and I'm a part of a lot of different investor communities with on short-term rentals and long-term rentals and apartments and multifamilies and all this stuff, and that book always comes up. It's now just kind of called the Purple Book, and people call it the Purple Book and refer to it as the Purple Book. It's like the Bible, but it's really just Rich Dad Poor Dad is what they're talking about.
Yeah, and if you haven't read it, I highly suggest you read it.
100%.
If you can't afford it, you can borrow it. I'll give you my copy.
Yeah.
If you jump on YouTube, it's free on there. There's a million different ways of finding that book.
100%.